battle. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
Loving this!
The payload has reached the chip.
Justice reigns from above!
Score 0-3. Switching sides. Initiating match. Ready for battle. Attackers incoming in 30 seconds. Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are joining a match in progress here. Had some technical difficulties with our microphone. My name is Michael Jones. I'm the head coach of the varsity eSports program here at Drury University in Springfield, Missouri, and we're broadcasting live from the O'Reilly Family Event Center, bringing you some high school Overwatch action between Clearwater High School out of Piedmont, Missouri, and Smith Cotton out of Sedalia. For those of you who have been watching, I apologize for the technical difficulty there. You would have just seen Smith Cotton push through with very little resistance from Clearwater to capture all 3 checkpoints with plenty of time left in their time bank, 4 minutes and 7 seconds. Sides have swapped, and it is now Clearwater's turn to push forward. Smith Cotton initially holding this high ground here, eventually challenging Clearwater as they approach this first intersection. They've now dropped down, and they're engaged in combat. Smith Cotton has a Reinhardt ultimate to their name. Let's see if they can look for a big Earth Shatter. They're going to want at least a few other ultimates before they do that. One has been triggered. Soldier 76 firing, and he finds 2. That's going to heavily stifle Clearwater's push here. They have 2 minutes left to try and push through to this first checkpoint to add some more time to their clock. It doesn't look like that's going to be possible. Smith Cotton, the very staunch defense here, initially let Clearwater get to this first corner, but they have since pushed them back, pushed that cart back nearly to the starting point. Smith Cotton has Clearwater completely bottled up here. Exel's ultimate coming through to try and keep their team alive, but where is this tire? Where is this tire coming from? It's moving forward on the offense, doesn't find anybody. And the counter tire here from the defense gets right into the middle of the team, takes out 3. And Clearwater is not long for this world on that push. With just over a minute left here, they have at least one more solid attempt to push this cart here. Smith Cotton does not seem inclined to give up any space, however. Let's see if Clearwater can find some flanks. Put together something. Ghost Dog up here trying to create some space. And he is taken down. Clearwater on the attack, playing very pensively around this corner. Big Sigma ultimate here. Is there going to be any follow-up? They've taken down 2. Let's see if they can follow that up. They've taken down 1 more, but Sigma does drop to Mr. Happy's Soldier 76. Despite these picks, Clearwater not quite committing to the push forward. They don't have their tanks here just yet to create that space. Tire coming through. Where was that massive tire? As Clearwater tries to find the flank on the right side, Junkrat shutting that down. And with no members left from Clearwater to touch this cart, that is going to be the first map. Clear push through there from Smith Cotton, able to take all 3 checkpoints with very little resistance from Clearwater. Clearwater had some good looks, had some good picks, but not enough to push through. Let's see this play the game. The massive tire, I imagine, from Heavy Duty. Let's see what he does here. Hiding around this corner here. Picks off one, then sends the tire, able to easily find a strong position for that in the middle of the enemy team. Detonates that to take out 3 and stifle the attack from Clearwater.
Epic. It's nice to be appreciated.
Smith Cotton out of Sedalia, taking the first map, going up 1-0 in this best of 3 maps. As the losing side on that first map, Clearwater now with the option of selecting the next map from a particular pool of maps as defined in the rule set. This competition being sponsored by the Missouri High School eSports Association, the governing body of high school esports here in Missouri, a grassroots nonprofit ran by teachers for the benefit of their students, in affiliation with NASEF, a national scholastic esports nonprofit. MHSEA is a NASEF affiliate. This is what is allowing them the license to run this competition in Overwatch. This is week 2 of the MHSEA regular season. So Clearwater has their selection of either Kings Row, Numbani, or Hollywood. Let's see what map they decide for game 2 of this best of 3 maps. If you're just joining us, Smith Cotton with a convincing victory on map 1 on Havana. Pushed through the first 3 points with very little resistance, and then full held Clearwater on the first point. Didn't even allow them to get past the first corner. Smartly held the high ground. Overall, across the board, just looks like they're landing more shots, gaining more ultimate charge, have more resources at their disposal. Gonna make it very difficult for Clearwater to push through and find any openings. Let's see if that story is any different here as we get into the second map. It looks like Clearwater has selected Hollywood. And we'll be loading into game shortly. Looks like teams are staying on the same side. Smith Cotton is in the red. They're out of Sedalia, Missouri, closer to Kansas City. For those unfamiliar with their Missouri geography, Sedalia, the home of the Missouri State Fair. While Clearwater High School, Clearwater R1 School District, out of Piedmont, Missouri, southeast Missouri. MHSEA has teams from all over the state. If we have any Panthers fans watching, we have a few teams in our backyard: Ozark, Republic, well as Central High School right across the street. Shout out to our high school esports friends in Southwest Missouri. All of our Panther fans and just general esports enthusiasts for joining us here today. Both teams probably just taking a minute to regroup and prepare their strategies for this second map, which is going to be Hollywood. For those new to Overwatch, Hollywood is a hybrid map. It's a combination of 2 other major map types. This sees the attacking team first trying to control a neutral point, at which point if they capture it, they unlock a cart that they then have to push the remainder of the way, similar to this first map we saw. And it looks like both teams have readied up. Should be getting into game any moment now. Clearwater in the blue out of Piedmont, Missouri. Smith Cotton in the red out of Sedalia, Missouri. Smith Cotton commanding victory in map 1, up 1-0 in this best of 3 match. Map 2 coming up on Hollywood. All right, here we go, getting into the second map. Let's see. Love the maps in Overwatch, for those unfamiliar with the game. Each themed around some iconic geographic location. This map, as the name implies, is Hollywood. So this middle section of the map is a sort of Wild West film set. But the action will begin on the backlot. This first point will be where the action begins. Clearwater, first team to defend. You can see their outlines as they come from the opposite side of the map. They'll be setting up here on this first point momentarily once we unpause. Just a couple seconds there. So they have multiple high grounds and sight lines here to defend against the approaching hordes of Smith Cotton.
Incoming in 30 seconds.
They will roll out from their spawn point. This recreation of what I can only imagine is Grumman's Chinese Theater. Never looked at these before. Baylog Fierce. Olivia Rye. I wonder if these are people that worked on the game. Olaf Stout. I'm probably just missing some obvious references here.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Enough of the stars. We are ready to get into the action. Here comes Smith Cotton out of the gates. Some early Junkrat spam. Interesting composition here with the Reinhardt, but also a D.Va. Meanwhile, Clearwater sitting up here on the high ground with the Bastion. Reinhardt holding up a shield as long as he can to allow the Bastion to free fire. They're spamming bullets into this choke point. Let's see if Smith Cotton can find a way through. They're just contesting this main area here. Neither side fully committing. Just both looking for some poke, looking for some free ultimate charge. Of course, every shot you land increases the charge on your ultimate ability. These are game-changing powers that can turn the tide of the fight. Now, Smith Cotton pushing through, taking the room to the right. They've gotten their first pick onto the Orisa. Now they've taken out a healer and a DPS character. Should be fairly easy for them to push forward from here on out. The Bastion has fallen. It is just the lone Reinhardt trying to buy as much time as possible, but he too has fallen. Smith Cotton is on to this first point. They have 1 tick. They have 2. Doesn't look like Clearwater has enough time to get here to contest this point, and they have unlocked the cart, hitting that first checkpoint. Now it's up to Smith Cotton to push through here. As these doors open, let's see how Clearwater sets up defensively. Had an initial good hold, but were not able to adapt to Smith Cotton taking that cheeky route through the right. Now Smith Cotton just playing a death ball around their cart. Bastion ultimate from the defense. So far has not found anyone though, and they are just on the back foot. In fact, the Bastion has fallen to Nicholas's D.Va. Shields are getting low on both sides. D.Va up high, throwing out some spam damage, but not going to be as effective as they're hoping for. Those D.Va blasters, much more effective at close range, function sort of as shotguns. So sitting up high on the point here and firing from range is not what you're looking for from a D.Va. She wants to fly in aggressively, look for some picks. She has been put to sleep now. Mercy flying up there to try and keep her alive, but not enough defensive pressure from Clearwater. Here's Dexel. Let's see if he can hold them off. Doesn't look like so. And Smith Cotton pushing all the way through and capturing this second checkpoint. Trying to offer up some resistance, but with the point already captured, I would have liked to have seen Clearwater just take the loss and back up and set up a little more organized on this first or second corner here. A lot of narrow choke points here. It can make it very difficult for the attacking team to push through, but Clearwater now staggered. Let's put the camera at their backs. They are just holding on for dear life at this last corner, giving up a lot of free space to Smith Cotton's push. Have a Reaper to their name. Let's see if he can find a flank. It doesn't look like it. Only one found with that Earth Shatter. But many more found for Smith Cotton when they throw down the hammer, and they have pushed through. Deadly Mouse not able to hold on as Diva and Smith Cotton push right through. Looks like we're seeing a repeat of the first map. Smith Cotton able to push all the way through and claim this point. Once again with plenty of time left on their clock. It's going to be a tall order here for Clearwater as they organize their attack. In order to keep their hopes alive in this game and in this series, they're going to have to push all the way through to that final point. Which point we have each team's taking another pass at it with the remaining time they have in their clock. So even if Clearwater is able to push through all 3 checkpoints, Smith Cotton will get another crack at it with 4 minutes and 25 seconds to do it. Should be plenty of time. And here comes Smith Cotton setting up their defense. They have the Bastion as well. Opting for double shields here with the Reinhardt and the Orisa. I think they're just going to control this high ground. Junkrat cheating around this first corner, probably looking to, drop a trap to catch any unsuspecting attackers. Gonna throw out some spam damage, but he's just gonna join his team up here on the high ground. Smith Cotton, all 6 members up on the high ground. We can see the outlines of the blue Clearwater players as they come around this corner. Let's see, do they avoid that first trap? They take a moment to destroy it. Already taking some spam damage from the Junkrat as those bouncing bombs come around the corner. They have a Bastion of their own. Is he going to be able to get set up and dethrone Smith Cotton from their defensive outlook? Doesn't look like it. He's a bit on his own here trying to set up in this corner. Both players just unloading bullets into each other. The Orisa wins that one, unfortunately, for our Clearwater fans out there. They're just going to return to their perch up here on the high ground. Now that Clearwater has seen the defensive setup from Smith Cotton, I would love to see them switch compositions if possible and look for more of a dive team. Opt for that Diva. And that big old monkey man to try and jump on the unsuspecting, very immobile defensive setup from Smith Cotton. Both teams, really, Clearwater here trying to fight fire with fire and just get their damage in there into this scrum, but with the superior positioning as defenders, it's going to be very difficult for them to break through. I think they need to opt for a different strategy. They've nano boosted, they're pushing through. This nano boosted Ryan buying a bunch of space, but he falls and his team is not behind him, able to secure anything. And they are taken out with this massive Bastion ultimate. Two minutes left here for Clearwater to push through. As I've said, would love to see them switch to a different look here on their attack. With this selection of heroes, they're going to have a very hard time cracking Smith Cotton's defense, buying themselves any space. Without the mobility of a dive composition, with things like a Winston or a Diva, they're not going to be able to get up here onto this high ground and unseat this well-pocketed and shielded Bastion. Massive tire coming through. I'm sorry we missed that. I imagine that will be the play of the game, so we'll see that here again in a moment. And now Smith Cotton coming down from the high ground. to push away the attackers once more. With a minute and 20 seconds left, it looks like they may only have one final shot at this, maybe two. Soldier moving around on the flank. Let's see if he can find anybody. Let's follow his path here. Trying to find an opening, but he is immediately spotted out. Like I said, it's going to be very difficult to dethrone this defensive setup without some more tools. And they've listened to me. They've switched to the Winston, but he jumps in on his own, doesn't have the full support. The Winston is not enough. You need to make some other switches as well. You need a diva to fly in there with the Winston. You need a tracer to jump around and dive that backline. You need some supports to enable that composition, and with 30 seconds left, let's see if they make the full switch. They've correctly diagnosed that they need a little bit more mobility, and that the Winston might be the way to do that. But overall, their composition a bit disjointed. And the Winston immediately falls. He jumps in there. Wasn't able to drop his shield and play around that to create some space. And it looks like, despite the Dragon finding 3, I don't think that there are any members capable of touching this point in the next 3 seconds and keeping the clock alive. They are not, and that is game, and that is the match for Smith Cotton. 2 quick pushes through and 2 full holds. Obviously the better team on the day. Clearwater out of Piedmont with some good adaptations. Hopefully going to be learning a lot from this matchup. Massive 3K in the follow-up there from Mr. Happy on the Bastion. Participated in 75% of the takedowns for Smith Cotton.
That's how it's done.
And all the honor going to Ghost Dog. Stellar performance out of him as he tried to buy some space and create some room for Clearwater to push through, but unfortunately it was not enough. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that is our match. Smith Cotton are your victors. Let's see if they opt to play the third map. Just for some experience for both teams here. Both teams asking, what do we do now? Exchanging GGs. That might just be it for the day. It looks like we have members of Clearwater dropping out, so that should be it. GG's to both sides. Congratulations to Smith Cotton out of Sedalia, Missouri, taking both maps, winning in 2 in this best-of-3 match. Strong showing from them here in Week 2.